Okay, Sam, this is the completion of my rough carve on my second attempt. I did as you said. I went in and checked the step over. It was at 40%. That's where it came to me that way. So I changed it to 50, and I did the flip side of this. I did yesterday at 50% step over, and the results were much less than satisfactory. I think a lot of it had to do with the way I was setting my Z0, because I got the deep edge carving with the detail cut around the letters and around the edge like I had been getting before. So this time I increased the step over to 60%. I decreased the depth of cut from 1/8 inch to 1/16 inch. And when I set my zero, I made sure I marked the zero spot and used my paper method, where I put the paper in and bring it down, bring it down, bring it down till it just grabs the paper, raise it up one, slide the paper out, move it back down one. And that's how I set the Z0 for the rough carve. Now I'm going to change out my bits, go to the 1/8 inch, then using a 1/4 inch bit now. I'm going to go to my 1/8 inch bit for my detail carve. I will set the zero the same way, Z0 with the paper method, the same way as I did for the rough carve, and we will see what we get. So I'll be back with you shortly. And we're through with this detail carving. See if I can get this here where it shows up. Point out a few things here. First off, the most egregious thing I see is right here. There's a big chunk of wood that was not carved at all. It wasn't carved by the rough carve. It wasn't carved by the detail carve. In between the O's here, there's a big ridge. In between the O and the D, and you can see all along down here during the rough carve where it come back and left all this stuff in here all around. You see there's the rough carve there. You can see how that's like two different elevations or layers or levels. Rough stuff all in here, all along in here. Now I'm going on a 60% step over. I shouldn't think I'd have to do any more than that. I would think a 60% step over would be more than enough to smooth up. Now right over in here, it looks pretty smooth for some reason. Down in here, except around the, you can see around the letter here where it was carving at a different height. Left a chunk in here, different height carving here, all around all the letters here, all the way around this, all around this and this. Around the W, you can see it. Same problem I've had since day one. Now I know that I may have a Z0 setting problem, but I don't know how I can get any closer than the paper method. How many thousandths of an inch off could that be? I just don't understand it. But it's just not giving an acceptable carve, and this is basically the same problem I've had all along. Now this time, for some reason, I didn't get the deep carving around the letters like I did on the other side. Let me flip that over real quick and just show you. You can see this in here where around all the letters you got this deep carving. I don't know why that was, unless again it had to do with my not setting my detail Z0 correctly. But this is being as careful as I could be in setting the rough carve Z0 and setting the detail carve Z0 by the same method, and making it just as accurate as I could make it. This is what I get. Now I don't know if that's the problem, if there's something else going on here, but I've had this problem since day one on every dual carve I've tried. Of course, this is in plywood. I understand that some of this roughness is the fringe stuff. That I'm not even worried about that. That's plywood. But up in here where this is left, the big gap where it come in and carved up here, and then it come back and carved back around here, but it didn't clean out this, all this in here. It didn't clean out all this or this. Just throughout the whole carving it's that way. Some carvings are worse than others, but when I really concentrate on setting my Z0 with the paper method and getting as close as I can physically get it, this is what I end up with. and it's just not satisfactory, so I don't know. Now I understand some of your guys, you sent out some of the guys your new touch plate to be field tested by these guys that are field testing the emergency stop thing that I sent back to you because I couldn't afford the $300 price for it. But I would ask if it is at all possible if I could be sent one of the touch pads to test with my system, the setup that I have, where I switch on and off over here with my switches that I've wired in to turn everything on and off. I would appreciate that to see if that is my problem with my Z0. So if I could have you guys send me a touchpad to trial test with my system to see if it alleviates this problem, I certainly would appreciate it. But for right now, we're just not getting anywhere on this dual carve. I'm just real disappointed. As much as I like this system and as much as the carvings that I've made with it, doing single carving, I don't have a problem. I mean, it does beautifully on everything I single carve. It's just when I get into this dual carve that I run into problems. So the question is it me not setting my detail Z0 correctly, or is there a problem with the dual carve? I don't know. That's for you guys to decide. So I will send this to you, and hopefully y'all can tell me something. Thank you very much for all your help. I do appreciate it, and we will be talking to you soon.